Ciao ragazzi, benvenuti e ben trovati per una nuova live, una nuova intervista, stavolta dal vero, senza tante presentazioni, e qui come alla Dario Moccia, insomma col traduttore dietro, con un iPad Pro come supporto per segnarsi di traduzione. Qui con me c'è Tina. Ciao Tina, come stai?
Molto bene, right? Yes?
Yeah.
Very good.
Chi è Tina? Diamo un po' di contesto, anche se ve l'ho spiegato nelle storie Instagram, ve lo sto spiegando nel titolo. Tina è un'animatrice 2D freelance che ha lavorato per tantissimi progetti, lavora da metà degli anni 2000 e ovviamente poi è stata conosciutissima, soprattutto dal sottoscritto, per il suo apporto, per il suo lavoro a Cuphead, dove ha disegnato e animato tantissimi boss che vi sono sicuramente stati un po' qua per sconfiggerli, ma che sono veramente iconici, come ad esempio la Baroness von Bon Bon. Corretto?
Yes,
Perfetto.
absolutely.
Allora Tina, iniziamo dalle basi, ovvero quando hai iniziato a lavorare, perché hai deciso di fare questo lavoro, qual è stato il colpo di fulmine per l'animazione 2D?
I understood.
Okay. Mamma mia, maestra
so how did my
sovrana.
career start, basically? Yes. So I was always obsessed with art. And this is why I love Italy so much. It has my heart, because it was a huge inspiration to me growing up. I loved realism, I loved drawing, I loved painting. And so I did a lot of studies of drawing from a very young age. I was 8 years old when I decided this is it. I want to be an artist. And I was super psychotically upset that this is going to be me. And so I studied. I worked very early on in film. I did The Aviator with Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh, okay. So I was painting backdrops. I was only 16 at the time. And then after high school, I decided, I also did theater. I loved being on the stage. I loved, being a theater child. And after high school, I studied in a college called Dawson College in Montreal, because I'm originally from Poland, but I studied in Canada. I grew up in Canada. And so I did 3 years, and it was illustration design. So it wasn't, animation. It was just painting and different, Photoshop, like learning different mediums. But they had 2 small animation courses. One 2D, one 3D. And the 2D, I was like, this is it. Because it was theater and drawing at the same time, and I love making people laugh. I love acting, and I was like, this is it. And like a light came down from the heavens and went, oh. And I decided I'm going to be an animator.
Ok Tina, quali sono, se hai effettivamente dei maestri, i tuoi maestri in ambito di animazione 2D? Non necessariamente che ti hanno insegnato qualcosa in classe o durante i tuoi studi, ma che magari vedendoli nei film o in alcuni studi di animazione ti hanno ispirato, magari dei film che sono la tua base, la base per la tua formazione artistica.
So what were my best inspirations in film?
Yes, and also artists, animators that
I
you
got
look
it.
up to.
I got this. A very boring answer, as most 2D animators are going to answer. Milt Kahl was one of my biggest inspirations. And I know I'm boring because every 2D animator, fangirls and fanboys over Milt Kahl because he's fucking amazing. So Milt Kahl was definitely up there. I grew up watching Golden Age Disney, so Robin Hood, Sword in the Stone were some of my favorite movies. I was obsessed. My whole family obsessed over Robin Hood. We would watch it every year on Christmas. And my sister, who's older than me, has nothing to do with animation. She's a historian. She got married to the Robin Hood song. But not the one you think, not the romantic one with all the fireflies. She got married to do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And she walked down the aisle to that song. So Robin Hood, just generally the 9 Old Men. When I got more into animation, I started learning about their lives, about Frank and Ollie. I read the entire Illusion of Life and was really obsessed with that. When I was a teenager, I first saw Miyazaki films for the first time. And Princess Mononoke Hime was like the first film, and I was like, and because also, we were talking about this on the way here, my father is an environmentalist, so he protects nature, he studied biology, and so to me, Mononoke Hime was like such a, amazing film, not only for the animation, but the message, and it was one of those moments where you're like, okay, animation can also be something more than just entertainment. It could be like a higher art form. It can be, have like a powerful impact on people. So to me, that was absolutely amazing. And then when, later, to me, I was incredibly excited when Cartoon Saloon started making its films. So like when Secret of Kells came out, I was like, yes, 2D animation's back. Like it's amazing. It's so beautiful. So those are my animated inspirations, I guess. When it comes to art in general, oh my God, we can talk about this forever. I'm a huge admirer of so many beautiful painters, artists, illustrators, but for animation, that's the inspiration.
Però prima ti devo chiedere una cosa, quindi mi sei più da periodo Xerox rispetto al periodo rinascimentale della Disney o addirittura la Golden Age della Disney, quindi quando c'era ancora Walt Disney a supervisionare i suoi direttori, i suoi registi?
What is your favorite era? The Xerox era or the Renaissance or the Golden Age?
Xerox.
Okay.
It's because Xerox era is the hand of the animator. It doesn't have the talents of the cleanup artist, which again, I love cleanup artists, don't get me wrong, but to me as an animator, seeing the raw line of, all their personality on the Xerox era, so Jungle Book, like all those films where you can see the rough lines, that's to me, that has my heart.
Quindi pochi soldi ma grande personalità dei film. In quel periodo lì c'era tanta personalità nelle sceneggiature, nelle canzoni, nei personaggi carismatici come nella carica dei 101, che per me è il più bello del periodo Xerox in assoluto. E di arte, perché volevi citarla? Cioè, quali sono state le cose che ti hanno più influenzato nell'arte, diciamo, classica?
I was obsessed with Italian masters when I was a kid, and I had a book called Anatomy of the Great Masters, and it had, Tintoretto sketches and, like all the old, like Michelangelo, and even from Germany, Dürer, and, Delacroix from France. It had all the master sketches, and I would copy them, trying to copy in the same medium as they. So if it was pen and ink, I would do pen and ink. If it was charcoal, I would do charcoal, and I tried to copy. And then I was obsessed with Polish grandmasters because I'm from Poland. I was born in Radom, and I was obsessed with Matejko. If you do not know who Jan Matejko, look him up. He's a historical painter who would paint giant battle scenes. I used to do horseback riding. I still do archery. I used to fight with swords. I was a huge tomboy. I know it doesn't look now, but I was a huge tomboy growing up. I used to fight, and I loved battles and warriors. And so I loved Matejko. I love Józef Brandt, which is another amazing Polish artist. And I used to copy their paintings and was obsessed with their paintings. And then I learned a new movement of art. Everybody knows Mucha, Alphonse Mucha, from Art Nouveau. So that's in Czech Republic, whereas in Poland, same time, same movement, it's called Art Nouveau, but in Poland it was called Młoda Polska, which means Young Poland. And Młoda Polska is an amazing time in history for painting, for sketches. Oh, if you go to Warsaw, you go to the National Museum, and it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And I'm not going to say the names, you don't pronounce them, it's okay. Wyczółkowski, Wyspiański, like these type of artists were just the crème de la crème of Młoda Polska. And so that is an art style that I absolutely love.
Bene, e adesso arriviamo a Cuphead. Non so se lo sai, Tina, ma noi ci siamo occupati del primo set di carte ufficiali di Cuphead e quindi ho sempre seguito con ammirazione il tuo lavoro. E come sei stata contattata dai fratelli Moldenhauer? Insomma, come sei arrivata al progetto Cuphead, che è stato un progetto molto lungo, travagliato, rimandato continuamente? Insomma, com'è andata?
So before Cuphead, I was working in video games already in Montreal. I was working for 8 years in video games. And then they started promoting me too much. And so I stopped drawing, and I was going to meetings. I was training juniors, doing everything but animation. And I was like, this is shit. So I tried to flip a table, but I can't because the tables are attached. But it's okay. It's very, very heavy. So I quit my very good job, and I moved to Toronto, and I went back to school to Sheridan College as an older student, and after working for 8 years. And I wanted to draw hand-drawn animation. So I used school as an excuse. I didn't graduate. It's 4 years. It's very expensive, so I only did 2 years. But I did every single project on paper by hand. Because that's my love, is the hand, Xerox era, the hand-drawn on paper. Not even on the tablet. It was all on paper. And I was obsessed, and I was like, this is my time to do it for me, because I felt nobody would ever hire me to animate on paper again. But I was like, this is for me, I'm doing it. And I never had Instagram, I didn't have any social media at the time, I didn't know what that was. but a teacher told me to post my animations on a blog just to show that I'm doing this. And so I posted on a blog. It's still there. I never post on it anymore, but it's still there. I have a blog. And so I quit Sheridan because no more money, and it was just too long. So I was like, I quit. And I decided to start finding work again. And I was working at a studio part-time, and then I suddenly got an email from MDHR. And they're like, oh, we saw your blog, so stupid little blog. And we see you do paper hand-drawn animation. And they said, do you want to do a test for us? And so I did a test for the Baroness von Bonbon level, but I did the waffle. The flying waffle was my first animation for Cuphead. And so I made the waffle fly, and I had just a regular scanner. So I would like put a piece of paper and it would go
No, non ci posso credere.
and then you put the next paper and like, so I did that, and they loved it, and they hired me, and they sent me a real scanner where you could put the paper and it goes like, 50 pages, and that's how I got the job.
Hai visto la carta che abbiamo fatto del waffle?
I think I did. I was so happy because it was like the first character. I did see the card. It's very good.
E quanto è durato il tuo lavoro per Cuphead? Perché poi hai fatto anche il DLC, tra l'altro, dove hai lavorato a Dogone Dogfight. E quanto è durato tutto il lavoro, e soprattutto quanto ci lavoravi, quanto ti ha preso, quanti disegni facevi? Cioè, sono molto curioso a livello tecnico proprio.
Yes, sure. So I was working on Cuphead from 2015. And I was the fourth animator to join the team. We were only 5 in total that did all of the original Cuphead. So we did a lot of drawings, just the 5 of us. And so when I joined, there was already Hannah Abihana, Jake Clark, and Joseph Coleman were animating, and I was the 4th that joined. So already the first trailer was out, so I had seen the first trailer. And I worked for over 2 years on Cuphead, full-time. And I did 9,465 drawings for the game. I think that's the final count. And so I counted. But so a lot of drawings. And figure yourself, that was just me, and there's 5 of us. And then Maya Moldenhauer, who was the cleanup artist, had to ink every single drawing, and she's one cleanup artist who did the entire game. I think at the very end, Dee helped with some of the cleanup, but it was basically Maya who inked all those drawings. So it's psycho. And then Cuphead became Cuphead, which was insane. There was we were making bets how many days before launch would we still be making new animations. So I did like an animation, I think 3 days before launch, like it was for the King Dice fight, like the little heart. That was one of my last animations that I did for it. So that was crazy. We did, but we got it. And then we all flew to Los Angeles for a big party for the launch, which was in a comic book store. And it was the first time that the entire team met each other in person, because Cuphead before COVID was an online studio. So we all worked from home. We never met each other, and then we all met on the day it launched. And then it went crazy, and we did a lot of events. The Moldenhauers went to so many award ceremonies, I was nominated for an Annie for my work. And so it was a crazy year where MDHR was just promoting Cuphead and not working. So I was doing other jobs. I was working on a short and doing other things. And then DLC started, and I came back for DLC, and I worked another 2 years on DLC for Doggone Dogfight. I don't know how many drawings I did I didn't count, but I did.
So the same amount for the DLC as for the game?
Yes, but it took longer than 2 years. I decided to do other projects after Doggone Dogfight. I finished it, and then I was like, okay, that's a lot of 1930s. I'm going to try other styles, and I started working on other things, yeah.
Infatti ti volevo chiedere, perché a quanto pare non stai lavorando sul prossimo gioco misteriosissimo, se c'è, di MDHR, ma sembra di sì, perché vuoi sperimentare altro, quindi vuoi gettarti su altro, basta l'animazione anni 30.
So it's funny because I didn't do anything in the 1930s style before Cuphead, so I wasn't an expert in the style. I did a lot of different animation styles. I did a lot of different cartoon styles. but never 1930s. I did, I think, one thing for fun. It was like a birthday card for a friend, and I made a little 1930s character. And they're like, look, you know, on your blog, I think it's still on the blog. It like they found it, and they're like, look, you could do that. Can you do this? And so it was a big learning experience. I did a lot of research. I watched so many shorts. I think that was one of the most amazing things about Cuphead is how much love and care we took in the research. So I would go frame by frame to all these videos. Like every morning I would watch a new video and go frame by frame and see how they did the animations and how it moved. And it wasn't just Fleischer Brothers, it wasn't just Disney. We looked at Van Buren's studio in Germany, which was doing a similar style. You know, like, you know, so Columbia Pictures, you know, when Ube Iwerks went and did his own studio, Flip the Frog. So we were trying to not focus only on Fleischer and Disney, but like look everywhere for inspiration. And so it was a big learning curve, and so I became very good at this style, and now I'm known for doing this style, but it wasn't something that I was interested in before Cuphead. So after so many years of just doing the style, I was like, I want to do other styles as well, and, you know, try something different. And so I've been doing a lot of different games and different styles. I think we talked about Croak, which is on Steam. You should check out Croak. It's done by Woodrunner Games. It's another platformer that I'm working on. And it was me and another Cuphead artist called Joseph Coleman that animated on that. And it has some Cuphead elements. It's very cartoony, but it's, you know, it's my style. I got to animate any way I wanted. So there's a lot of squashing and stretching and lots of funny faces, and I really enjoyed it. And then I'm working on another game for a studio called Petty Karma, which is not announced, so I can't say a lot, but it's a very different style, beautiful hand-drawn animation, more serious. So not so cartoony, but beautiful, beautiful animation. I worked with amazing animators on that game. So I was telling him when it's announced, we're going to talk about the Petty Karma game because it's really cool.
Ok, adesso devo tradurre, ma nel frattempo devo chiedere la cosa che dicevi. He wanted to know if you're working at the moment for the mysterious project at Moldenhauer.
Oh, no,
okay,
I'm not.
Okay.
No. So my journey with MDHR is over. After DLC, I decided to do my other thing, but I'm very excited. I know a little bit about it because it was, you know, discussed when I was still an employee. So I know some secrets, but I can't tell you anything. Okay. So no, I'm sorry. Okay, and I saw a comment go by. Do I understand Italian? And I know it's weird that I just figure out what's going on, but I speak Polish, English, and French. And I traveled in Italy when I was young for over 2 months. And if you understand French, you start figuring out what's going on. And I think I haven't lost the talent. I still can I can say nothing. I could say ciao and grazie mille, and, things like this. But I can't speak Italian. But I understand what's going on. So, talent.
L'Italia la ama talmente tanto che ha creato degli sticker che ha portato. Li vogliamo far vedere, no? Eccoli qua. Ha fatto delle mini mascottine in stile anni 30, ha messo le maschere veneziane, il vino, il gelato, la vespa, i pomodori, perché ami molto i pomodori.
I love them, they're so good.
Col gesto proprio così all'italiano. E la moca e poi la pizza, il pallone, perché il pallone l'italiano non ci può stare senza. Per quanto riguarda invece il futuro, Tina, te hai fatto tantissime cose, soprattutto ti stai specializzando sui videogiochi o comunque vieni tanto ricercata per questo. Non ti andrebbe di fare magari un corto tuo, un film tuo? Cioè, ti piacerebbe lavorare? Raccontami un po'.
I'm so glad you asked me that. So, I've been working in video games for a long time. It's almost 20 years, y'all. It's like I'm at 19 and a half, so almost 20 years. But because I've been working in very cartoony styles for so long, I've always wanted the challenge to animate more complicated emotions, to animate acting, to animate lip sync. And in video games, you're animating a lot of body mechanics, a lot of movement, a lot of action, a lot of fighting. So I wanted to animate a short, and I've been thinking about it for almost 10 years, so it's a long time. And as I mentioned, I am Polish, and there is in Warsaw an emblem. So it's like, every city has an emblem. Warsaw has a mermaid with a sword and a shield, and she's badass. And I was like, yes, I like you. I told you I do sword fighting, so, to me, it's really cool. And she has a legend, and the legend is very boring. But my family, when I was a kid, told me a different version of a legend, which I can't find on the internet. So I think it's just a family retelling of the story, which is a lot more interesting. And so I took that as a start, and I wanted to write a story that was about a powerful female icon. You know, like, I'm a very powerful woman, you know, I think I'm pretty powerful. And lots of bad things are happening in the world, especially when it comes to women's rights. And so I wanted to make a short film in beautiful hand-drawn 2D animation. Everything's animated on paper, the old school way. And I wanted to have a story about an amazing, powerful, iconic woman. And it'd be fantastical and beautiful, and it's inspired by the art of moda polska. So it all goes back to inspirations. It's an 8-minute short. I'm doing a lot of the animation myself, but I'm working with a team of predominantly women artists because I wanted to uplift women's voices. So I have amazing background artists. Ada Głowacka is one of them, and Hazel Dang from Vancouver is another of my beautiful background artists. I have, female cleanup artists. I have a musician composer, who's half Italian, half Brazilian, and she now lives in LA. And so she's doing the music, and I have a sound designer, and I had the voice actors, and so it's a really big project, and it's taking a long time because I'm only doing it part-time. And so hopefully in like a year or two, you can see it on the screen, but it's going to be 8 minutes, beautiful hand-drawn animation about a badass mermaid, and it's going to be amazing, and I'm really excited about it. If you want, so your people are amazing at the Googling. If you go to syrenkafilm.com, Syrenka is with a Y, Synenka, Syrenka, film.com, you will find all of our social media, and you will find a page because I can't name all the amazing people that are working on it. Another amazing person, though, that's working on Syrenka is Felicity Moreland. We were talking about hand-drawn film, which is a documentary about 2D animation. And Felicity Moreland was the director, and she did almost everything on this film. It's amazing. It's coming out, I think, this year, which is so exciting. And I was her first interview. And Felicity is my producer on Syrenka. So she's working super hard to get everything organized. She's doing all the things I hate to do. She's writing emails, making meetings, finding money, doing all the things that I don't want to so that I can focus on the art. And so Felicity is an amazing person, and you should all check out Hand-Drawn Film and find syrenkafilm.com. Oh, look, see, they did it. They're like, look at you. It's amazing.
E Tina, guarda, allora l'hai citata, abbiamo parlato di animazione tradizionale, ti voglio fare una domanda più sull'attualità. Perché secondo te nel cinema mainstream, non ti parlo dell'indipendente, dei piccoli studi di produzione, l'animazione tradizionale sembra scomparsa? Anche in Disney, di cui abbiamo parlato e che ci fa sempre battere i cuori, che comunque è stata una grande ispirazione per tutti, anche per me e per te, cerca di sfuggire dall'animazione tradizionale, perché non vende, perché le nuove generazioni non possono capire, perché sono nate col 3D, oppure c'è altro effettivamente?
So this is one of my pet peeves, is all these big companies saying, oh, 2D doesn't sell. People don't want to watch 2D. And I'm like, lies. Because just look at the numbers. I mean, Cuphead, part of the beauty of Cuphead was the hand-drawn gorgeous animation. That was the selling point for Cuphead. And every time I talk to people, they love 2D films. They love the hand-drawn look. And especially with, the looming monster that is AI, which is so ugly, to me, it's even more important that people see the artist's hand, that see the humanity behind the animation. And I think people love seeing it. They want to see it. They want to see that tactile imperfection, because that's what it is. When humans draw, we're not a machine, we're not a computer. We make mistakes, small mistakes, and that makes it feel alive and real, because none of us is perfect, and that makes us human. And so to me, I think there is a huge space still for 2D animation in the future, but I think it's going to come from the ground back up. So I don't think we can trust big studios to give the love and the care, except for Cartoon Saloon. I'm watching you. Cartoon Saloon's amazing. To give the love and care and appreciation to 2D animation as it used to. But I think the indie space, the independent studios, is where that love is going to stay alive, and it's going to keep coming back and back and back. And the people are going to, respond and buy it and support it. And I think that's what's amazing about crowdfunding. For my film, we did crowdfunding to get it going off the ground. I support every 2D short that I see on Kickstarter, on Indiegogo. When I see a 2D short, I'm like, I'm giving you my money, because you have to support each other to keep the medium alive. But I also think that 2D video games is someplace where a lot of that beautiful animation is going to still be around, because it's a really amazing medium in which to make different styles. So I think it's hard to push 3D to be something it's not. It's very good at a certain look. It's very hard to make it look original and different. Whereas 2D, whatever you can draw, you can make move and you can animate. So the stylistic freedom of 2D is amazing and a beautiful place to experiment in video games. So I think there's a lot of future still for 2D, but it's us, the people, that will make it still be alive.
Ti ringrazio, Tina, di essere stata qui con me in studio. Io mi muto un secondo, saluto i miei ospiti e poi torno da voi. Aspettatemi, ragazzacci. A dopo, a dopo.